more Helldivers news. This was actually another. I really didn't like journalist's cover of Helldivers this week because we got things like this as well. Helldiver's first big war isn't suffering because of tough evac missions or metal hoarding. It's the pass and fail reward structure that's spoiling the fun. And I'll try and summarize this by Harvey Randall over at PC Gamer. What he's kind of going into saying that there's actually a really cool like system, like a major order. The live service model of the game is that they have this big galactic war. Players that can go into these various planets and they have to defend them. You know, if they lose too much, you know, if they like lose more than they win, or maybe just lose too much, I think, you know, they actually have a guy kind of like tipping the scale in different ways at Arrowhead. But if they don't succeed enough, they lose the planet. And one of the last week's missions was like you have to like win 8 successful defend missions. They didn't do it, and they end up losing quite a few planets. And he's basically saying that this isn't great. Let's see. Let's see if I can find where he says it. Archer would have 4 layers when you think about it. The campaign, and he sort of defends major orders. That's defend 8 planets, defeating a single planet. You have a batch of missions and the missions themselves. Kurja major orders to win 8 defense campaigns against the automatons. I just talked about that. Of course, this didn't, and they didn't end up succeeding in this, and that's kind of a feel-bad moment. Let's see. So let's see if I can find where he says every single defense mission has at least one civilian evac mission in it, and they're damn hard. The problem in my experience is that they're either a quake walk because me and my squad manage to keep pace with the bots, or they sort of snowball out of control and you end up all dying. Which is very true. Some of the nifty missions without risking that, though. One popular technique is merges ass 3 squad mates to cause a ruckus on the countryside and stealth. It all comes back to rested XP. So this is where he gets into his solution. What he wants. There's an old tale that's still relevant, which is kind of an interesting thing. Warcraft rested XP was initially an XP penalty, one which kicked in when you played too long. Playtesters hated it, so Blizzard ended up making it a bonus. Like, if you haven't played in a while, you get rested bonus XP. Kind of encourage people to take breaks and not play so much. Some video game makers were feeling a little guilty about people dying from playing World of Warcraft too much. So Helldivers has a similar issue, though it's a problem a little more concrete. In these evac missions, you get a penalty every time a civilian dies of friendly fire, which doesn't feel great. Instead, what if you start at 0 and then snagged a bonus for everyone that escaped? You can send this to the mission objective itself, rather than having a minimum number of civilians required for success that have a relatively achievable floor, then give players a bonus for every civ they're able to extract past that. Like other missions, the core order is pretty straightforward and achievable, but you can still rake in rewards for exemplary service. I'm not sure that changing the underlying cover for these missions is a lot of work, especially with how much sweat and tears Arrowhead had to put into expanding its servers on the back end, but on paper, I think fixing these evac missions is actually pretty simple. Let's go one step further and apply it to the wider campaign too. What if instead of getting 0 contributions for ditching an operation, you got a stacking contribution based on how many missions you did complete? Similar to the War Bomb medals, even if a single mission only gives a sliver of contribution without the stacking modifier, you still won't feel like you spent 20 to 40 minutes helping nobody. Similarly, even if 1250 requisition isn't actually a great reward, players are going to be upset if we fall short of one measly planetary defense campaign and get nothing. Having a community milestone rewards for this sort of thing would be great. So, in other words, he wants participation trophies, essentially. Like, don't make it pass fail. Make it, if you do okay, then you don't have to feel bad about it. Ultimately, Helldiver shines the brightest when you're allowed to be a scrappy moron, somehow overcoming unthinkable odds, and the rest of the game enables this. The process of losing an affiliate evac mission and by extension operation is actually pretty fun. It's fun. Again, I keep saying it. It's fun to lose, guys. Winning, forget that. It's fun to lose. It's the reward structure that's demotivational, and it doesn't have to be that way. I don't get it. Like, what? People talk about it's fun to lose, guys. It's fun to, like, no, it's not. It's not fun to lose at all. Like, what is wrong with these people? Winning is fun. And honestly, this idea, I kind of get the reward bonus. It's fine, but it really kills the sort of I don't want to use the word vibe because it sounds kind of lame, but it really kills the aesthetic of the game. Like if it's like, oh, you did okay, it's fine, because this is like a sort of almost fascist. Well, I guess it kind of is a fascist regime. Like Super Earth is very controlling, super Super Earth managed democracy. It's very very strict, kind of like heavy propaganda. This idea like, hey, you did okay and we're going to reward you for it, to me just doesn't fit the game. The idea like you either succeed or fail. This is a military operation. Seems far more fitting in the setting of the game. And this idea like, oh, even if you fail, you shouldn't feel bad about it. Like that ruins the game as well. Like feeling bad about losing is part of the fun of the game because you want to win. It makes you want to win. This idea like, oh, we did okay. It's not too bad. Like, no, you want that. You want the highs and lows of, yeah, good enough for government work. Exactly. You want the highs and lows of winning and competing. That's what makes games fun for a lot of people. Again, you saw this in, I don't know if there's like a leftist Redditor thing where it's like losing is fine. Losing's okay. I guess, I don't take losing too hard, but damn, like I never like, yeah, losing, it's cool with me. I love losing. No, I want to win. That's the point of these games, is to win. Winning, put in effort. But yeah, another bizarre article that's kind of like, yeah, well, we shouldn't feel bad about losing.